All right. I think I have a plan for this. Can you guys hear and see me okay? All right, I think I want to make some dots to lay out where these guys are going to be. And there's two 3.2s, but one of them is in our one of them is in the class. But I only need two for this one. So I'm going to say okay and put that on an island. And then I need four 3.3s and one 4x7. And three 3.5s. Five 3.6. Five 3.6, and then three 4.0s. Yeah, we're looking at it from the top, so I'm going to say copy without history, and I'm going to go from the center point on this, and just put one on each of these dots. Okay. And now let's bring in the first one here. Insert file. And we grab this, copy, paste, -20. Oh, I can't use these because I can't just flow it from here to here because this is part of the history chain for these guys. It has the mirror. So I just need to move the whole thing. So this was the 3.2. I'm going to move from 0 to here. Oh, do I want to put dots? I think I want to put dots on these two. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just going to move this one down, -5. No, copy, paste, move down, -5. Okay. Now we move from 0 to there. All right, bring in our next link is the 3.3. I want two of those. And that's the 4, 3.3. Okay, so this one is going to be the 1 4x7. All right, next up, we've got the 3.5s. And this one we need a 4th dot, so we're going to take and mirror this across there. All right, this is our 4th one. No, 1. Oh, did I do this wrong already? 1, 2, 3. Okay, this guy should be mirrored across here. That's 4. That's number 4. This should be number 5. So let's mirror this dot across. Okay, this is number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the 5 by 3.6. And now this moves to 3.6. Okay, and that had 5 dots, so this is the full 6 dots. And that is our 3x4. 3x4. Okay, so we got 6 dots on that one, 3, 5 dots on that one, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's get our dots up and out of the way. Double check our sizes. 3.2. This should be 3.3. That matches. Just cancel it instead of finishing it out. 4.7. Yep, that's going to match. 3.5. That matches. 3.6. That matches. 4. Oop, I hit enter. But that matches. All right, delete that. Okay. Now I'm going to take and say I need one of these. Copy, paste. Move that over there. And then just flow rigid from there to there. So now if I want to double check, oops. Flow rigid, but turn copy back on. So now when I want to check my counts, I can just say select children and it will add 1 block instance. Okay, and I needed 1 for that. For this one, I need 4. So I'm going to copy, paste, drag that out here somewhere. And flow rigid to there, to there. I need 4 of these. So I can just copy, paste, 2, 3, 4, and I can double check by saying select children, and I get 4. Okay, so that's how I can make sure that that one's right. Copy one of those. Flow rigid from there to there. You know what? Let me just make a couple of copies of these. I've got 3 left to do, so that's 3. Break those. So now I can just replay flow rigid there to there, flow rigid there to there, flow rigid from there to there. So that's 1, and I got 1 off the copy. This is 4. I got 4 off the copy. That's 1. I got 1. I need 3, only have 1. So I'm going to take and copy, paste, paste. So now I've got 3. This one I need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I get 5. Okay, and this one I need 3. 1, 2, 3. So this, select children, and I get 3. Okay, so I check the size on these. If I need to make any changes, I can. And I've got all of these out here as the children. And I know I can fit 5 on a pole, on a runner. So let's take and isolate this. Oh, you know what? I want to see these guys as well. Not those, just those. Just those. Well, I don't know why subobject select wasn't working. Subobject select. Now it's working. There we go. Okay, so I can use this as a blueprint for getting all of these guys set up. Let's see. Let's move that from the midpoint up to there. And those will be the 3 in between. And that one, do I not have center snap on? I do have center snap on. Why can I not get a center? There we go. So we want to be at the same level as this one and the same as this one there. But we can do align. And the horizontal center, we want, vertical center, we want to align with there. And then do a distribute auto, a distribute auto on the Y. That gets that spacing. And then I can take this and this and move it from here to there. And then these two need to be flipped 180. and copy this from here to there. All right, so now if I look at this one, those should be the same. And I'll need to double check and make sure, but I'm fairly confident that this will be the same setup as that one. So now let me take the next 5. Let's see, we've got this one, those, and that one. So that's going to be up top, middle, middle. Align the top of it with this one. Align the top of it with this one. Those guys go in between. Distribute on the Y. This, and this. Well, just we can align all of them vertical center to the top one, and then take this and this and move it from here. I should be doing this in top view, so I'm projecting to there. And then we can copy this from that center point to that center point. And I'll double check all of these in a minute. Let me yeet that out into space. Okay. Boom. 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 And one more. These all need to rotate. I think I can do that here. Let's see. This would be a Z rotate 180. Okay. All right, but something is not right. This is lined up with that one. This is lined up with that one. Did I not do distribute on the Y? Auto distribute Y. Okay, there we go. So now those should all be in place. And we've got 2 left. So the next 2 I'll just put in between there. If the next 2 will fit on here, because there are all of our stone links. So we've got 20 blocks. That should be 6 of those, because the 3.2 is right there. 6 of those, 11 of those, that's 18. We got a problem. Okay. So -1, we should have 6 there, 11 there, -1, we should have 5 there. So that should be 22. 6 and 11 is 17. 17 and 5 is 22. And we have 20 blocks. Oh, 20 plus the 2. Okay. We've got 22 blocks. So far, our math is mathing. But we need the 1, the 1 and the 1, which are these 3. Those are our leftover stones, but each of these needs custom work on the sprues. So let's start with this one. I think we are done with dots, so I'm going to move that over there. This copy, paste, -20. And let's set the position on this to 0. Use block insertion point. And take a look at it. All right, so this needs to flip around 180. So we're lined up with the rivet side on that side. Our sprue is kind of useless on this one. I don't know what to do about that. I think our best bet is to grow it at this orientation. But for a sprue, it looks like this wall would be the best for sprue placement. So how did this get turned on? All right, that can go in the trash because that's not needed. So for these, the printing orientation and the sprue orientation were the same. There is no good place to sprue this on the bottom, so I'm not going to try to sprue it on the bottom. I'm going to sprue it on the side, which means that I'm not going to be able to... I did paste, so I'm going to move this from there to there, and then spin this on its side. Oh, so this guy needs to be broken so that it can spin. And then I want to take this right up to the wall. All right, this will give us a neck down. So the thickest part of this is, I mean, there's not something that's really thick on this. 1.9. Let's take this down to like 1.5. Center of the Z. Okay. And this can be really shallow. Because we'll have to support this, but do I want, actually, maybe I want it to be full length so I don't have to do a lot of wax wire work to it. It's just, I got to add a support to this now, which I need to make another support. I knew that for this other one. So let's add in that after we get this one. So I'm going to copy, paste that, and then move this. Let's see, let's switch to my back view, bottom view. No. And say set XY to here. -5, is that what it is? Oops. And because I can turn off this and just see the caps, now I can center it on that bar. Okay, so these guys, let me go ahead and move those down -5 as well, so I won't have to do it next time. Okay, now for my other kind of sprue. Let me grab this just to show you what I'm planning on doing, because then maybe it'll make a little more sense. All right, I need to print this as well, so I'm going to add this to my print plate, and I might as well just do it in here. Move up from there to our ground plane. This is how I like to do supports for rings. I have this fin, and the fin is narrow at the top. There's the sprue. And I like this because it's very easy just to run like the back of a razor blade against this edge. You just run not the sharp side, but like a dull-ish side, scrape, scrape, wiggle, and it breaks cleanly right there. There's a little bit of once you score it and break it, there's a little bit of a jagged, but it's always above the part, not below the part. So when you go to file the sprue, that little jaggedness just disappears, and it's really clean, quick removal. I want to do that, but for this guy, and I'm going to need it one other place, which is on this guy. So let me move him from there to there. And I'm going to do that because I'm going to print this at like a 45. I think a 45 will work for this. Yeah, that's a little bit of an overhang, but it's climbing. That should be fine. I'm going to put a sprue down here, but then I want to put a line support across the back of it. So let's make that line support. And basically, I need a line. And then, so this is going to be a flow line. And that will match up with a flow line right here, which I can just use extract isocurve to grab the bottom of that. And so I'm going to make this, and it's just going to flow across the back of there. Oh, but all of this needs to come up because I use project in this scenario. Ooh. I've got history, so I'm just going to turn everything on. Uh, this script is one of my Python scripts. If you look in the description of the video, you'll find my GitHub where you can find like all the Python stuff. Some things are not in the GitHub. Those are in the command that, one day I hope to put together enough to release. But what it does is it turns all the layers on. So none of the layers are locked. It goes through all the layers and makes them unlocked and shown, and then does a show and a unlock on everything. And there is no command in Rhino that says make everything selectable. But I just did that. I'm going to lock my 0 layer, which is this stuff, because that can stay flat. And then just grab everything and say, not the ring because I already moved that up to 0. Grab everything and say move up 5. And that's an awful lot of history to replay, but everything moved up. Everything still has history on it. Oh, that is in the group. This one isn't in the group. So everything still has history on it. Nothing broke. I can still... Let's see, this guy is the... Yeah. All of those updated. And now I can build this, because what I need is to do an offset on each side, 2 of them. Offset curve both sides. And the top is how wide I want the top of this wedge to be. So normally that's like 0.1. But the wax needs a little more support. So let's say 0.15. That seems like too much. Let's say 0.1. Okay, and then I need the base. So I'm going to do offset again, both sides. And this time I'm going to say 0.25. And then these two get projected to surface, project to C-plane. Delete input, no. Okay, and then I just loft this, and this with straight sections closed. And now I need one more line that's a little bit below, and that'll be my flow curve. So let's break history on that. Okay, so let's put this into groups. Well, first I need to make a layer for this. What do we call this? Rib support. So this is my control curve. And these are just regular curves. And these are going to be control curves. You know what? I'm going to make this junk because this is the one curve that I never actually edit. I'm just going to make it junk so we don't see it. And then this is the layout curve base. And over here, this iso curve is my layout curve target. Now I don't want this to go all the way to the end. So I'm going to take and bring that out a little bit. And this is going to be rib surface. I think if I rebuild this, like 3.5, do these get rebuilt? They do not, because it's a straight curve going over, so those don't get rebuilt. Okay, undo that rebuild. Okay. I'm going to make a copy of this and this. Now, once I get it over to here, I'm not going to want to edit it from... So this used project. So whatever the elevation is on this curve, whatever the elevation is... Did I offset in C-plane? In C-plane, yes. Okay, good. I almost had to do that over again. I don't want to edit this from over here. I just want to... I actually want to edit it over here. Yeah. But to get it into place and like not have to rebuild this every time, I did it like this. So I'm going to grab these guys. Make sure that curve is there. Yep. I'm going to grab these guys and I'm going to say flow normal. Now I have lock history on, so it's not going to break any of my history. Things that are history locked aren't going to be transformed by this flow. Everything else will be. So I could just say like this. Grab this one curve because everything else has history on it right now. Just do a flow regular with stretch. I want to go from there to without copy. There to, and then grab that ISO curve I pulled out. And now it flowed it all the way to the end. But that was too long. Make that longer. Maybe I should do it with history to get it over there so I can get the length right. And then once it's over here, but that's not going to copy the history. Oh, shoot. Oh, this is where Rhino history really, if they just had a tree and you could like interact with the tree, parametric is the fancy word. This would be so much easier. Well, I mean, I could just do this flow stretch with copy from there to there, and it went to the wrong side. It should never do this. It should be taking the Z from the C-plane when I pick another curve. This is a bug. This is a stupid bug that keeps showing up. I don't know why, but if I say flow stretch, I'm going to try it from this side. Oh, flow stretch from this side, copies on, and then click right there. I think that's at least working correctly. Yes, because if I take and shift this over, now it's down here. And drop that to there. It's a tennis bracelet that I'm making. And it's got a lot of different parts, and I don't want to spend all day trying to sprue these by hand. So I'm printing the runners that go inside the flask. But now I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So I think that is actually, let me bring this out a little bit more because I need this rib to go to, actually, it doesn't quite need to be that much. That's about where I want that rib to go. Okay, so now I'm going to delete that. And now I'm going to take that curve that has all the history on it, and I'm going to say flow stretch without copy. So it's going to move this curve from here to there. And when I move that curve, it's going to move all the history, which includes a project to C plane. And that gives me this. Now I have this right here, where if I don't think this taper is enough, I can take these two curves, break them, and scale them apart a little bit and get a base that's a little bit wider. And if I don't like it, I can go back and start over from there. But that does look like a good rib support to put on the sprue. Except it's not high enough because it's not intersecting. So let me grab that parent curve, and because I broke history on these two, well, it doesn't matter because they project to C-plane. Take and move that up until we're fully intersecting the part. And now I got a support on that one. Okay. Job done, I guess. None of these remaining ones are going to fit into this pattern. So let me do this. I'm going to take this runner and copy it from, let's see, I need top view so I don't get confused. I'm going to copy it from here to here. Take this guy, spin it 180, and then I think it's aligned with that one. Yep. So I just need to move it from here to here, and then align top to here. And now those are set up the same way all of these are. So now I can add my other ones that don't really match the pattern. We can just grab all of this. Let's see, the next one. Oh, I just need to print this anywhere. But I'm going to print this anywhere because our sprue does not align the direction that we're supporting it from. But once it's, I'm just going to, like, by hand turn this up and stick that in that spot. So this guy just needs to go somewhere on the table. There, looks good. Make sure all of that. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this one because that's why I made this rib. Let's go ahead and move that to 0. This is a block. Yes. Okay. So position, we can just make it 0. And I want this to be kind of the bottom. So get that over the 0 line. And is that tall enough? Well, we can just grab this sprue and copy it. Just take this sprue. Yep, copy, paste, and move it from its center, which we get an O snap, from there, and take that to 0. Oh, I thought I put position 0. No. Oh, it's offset because it was aligned to the part. So we're just going to eyeball that to 0. Isolate. Okay, we need to get this. And then we made this so we could bend it because I knew I would have this part. So let's drop those all down. And then I want to grab this and we will go to bend off the center point there, going to the edge. Symmetric, yes, preserve structure. And so I'm just going to bend this inside the part. And we can make it wider to cover more to the edge. Maybe I took it too far inside the part. Our neck down, we can leave flat. I don't think it's going to, as long as we get kind of a smooth transition to the edge, it's fine. And these guys don't have to be as big as they are because this is a very thin part. All right, so now I just need a line on the back, and this is a mesh. I wish it was not a mesh, but we can just draw a line up the back. That's trash. We'll just make a copy of this. And it's going to project straight down. So if we go to here, then it's not going to touch the sprue. This needs to be on 0 though. Set Z to here. That's going to go up, and where do we want it to finish? Right about there. Okay. So now I can take this. Actually, let's set the Z on that down to here so it's in the right spot. I want to grab that junk curve and say flow stretch without copy from this curve to this curve. There we go. And we get the same thing. If I want it to be wider at the base, which it looks wide enough at the base on this side, but not this side, I can take these, turn points on, grab the 2 endpoints, break history, and just scale them out, and our wedge will get wider as it gets out to here, but it'll stay the same. I mean, I do have these. I can break them and make this skinnier, but I think that'll be fine. But now I get a wider base as it goes up, and that should be enough supports on this one. This sprue is also an anchor, so it'll have to bridge this little bit of a gap. You know, I can take this center one and slide it down without sliding these down. In fact, I could even slide those up. And now we get some clearance between the sprue and the base and the top. Yeah, I think that works. Okay. I'm calling that done. So let's grab one of these, copy, paste, -20. And let's move all of this up to there, somewhere in there. And let's group that so it doesn't get group that. I think all of these are already grouped. No, those are not grouped. So let's see. Group that. Right, because these are not in groups, but these all, oh, those aren't in groups either. I don't think it'll matter because there's history on them, so they don't move with our lock history. Okay, remaining pieces. Looks like just these guys. So let's do this one next. Let's move this position 0, 0. Let's see how this matches up. So I'm going to make a copy of that, paste, and we need to go -20 to get to 0 and see how that lines up. Okay, these supports are all good, but these are no good. And we need more down here. So I think that hurts us more than helps us. When I have these guys, where I could just take all of these. Okay, if I say select children, get those. I don't want any of those. I don't want any of those. And this, and copy, paste, move from here to 0. I didn't copy paste everything. Look at that. Undo, undo. Okay, I undid before the paste. You always have to make sure you undid before the paste. Otherwise, you're going to have like a pasted version right there and just never know it. And it is the most annoying thing. Let me grab these and these. Select children, 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 and then exclude all of that. Copy, paste. Undo the paste, paste again, and just move this. Okay. Everything moved this time. So we are going to move from, and we're just going to get a couple of O snaps to get the center off of that. And take that to 0. Yeah, I'm making the supports in Rhino because there's 20 some odd different parts, but most of them have the same supports. So I didn't want to get into the printer software and try and figure out, do I have all the 20 different links and do I have the right number of copies of each link, and then have to do basically the same supports on all of them. Does -5 get us where we want to be? Yes. So -5 gets us where we want to be. I'm doing it in Rhino so I can say, all right, do I have one of these? Select children. Oop. Do I have one of these? Select children. Yes, I've got one block of those. But on this one, I need 5. So select children. Yes, I have 5 blocks of that. And then these are going on to sprue runners. Oh, our alignment is not quite right on this one. Let me go ahead and fix it while I'm looking at it, because the rest of these are lined up, but this, these 3 are not. Okay, so if I grab those 3 and we say align left with here, and then we move from here, and I'll get a tab lock over to there. Now those should all be in a line. Yes, those are all in a line. And these 2 are not in a line. How did that happen? Here, we're just going to take and lock those 2. Isolate. I'm just going to move this. Do it from the top so we get the right projection. Move that to there. Move that to there. Grab that center line. And then move both of those from there to there. Make sure these are all lined up now. That's all lined up. That's all lined up. Those are lined up. I definitely can make better supports by hand than what the 3D printer can do, but it's usually just faster to throw on some, you know, random supports. But here I have symmetry. So if I move that side, I move the other side. And I know I built this as a square, so there is symmetry on it. I don't trust the printer software. Well, it doesn't have as many options for symmetry. And I don't trust it to like put things into place exactly where they should be and whatnot. Okay. So this, it looks like we can kill this one. Okay, we can kill that support. Which means the new center for this is going to be in line with that. And we can center that over to there. Okay. But I want, let's ungroup these so I don't have to. Okay. Copy this, paste, move it down. And I did not copy everything. Undid pass the paste. All right, I need this, these 2. Copy, paste, move it down. Okay. Let's switch to our bottom view and turn off the support rod so I can just see the tips. Can I make it all the way to the corner? I think that's too far. This wax stuff is really, really bad at bridging gaps. So I think I want to add a third one in here, which turn this on. Let's lock our blocks so that doesn't get in the way. Select parents, 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 not these guys. Copy, paste, slide everything down but the base. Boop. And then we can center the base between all three, which means set X to here. And we can make sure that these are distributed evenly by saying distribute auto X. Ooh. Distribute auto X. Why is it bunching those up? Okay. I think I had a weird subobject select in there. Set X to be under the center of that. Okay, so now at least these 4 tips are evenly spaced, and those should be from when we did that. My script is automatically adding things to groups and annoying me. So we're just going to say remove from group everything in here. So I can grab these 3, copy, paste, rotate 90, and then we can bridge this wall. And we can space these out just a little bit more. That looks about equal. I don't think I'm going to need extra supports for this, but I do for our rivets. So let's see. You know what, instead of trying to separate all that out, just grab this guy, copy, paste, set XYZ to there, paste, set XYZ to there. And this is at a little bit of an angle, which is why we did that button that way. So we could, how can I see it best? Over here. So we could take and angle them a little bit better. Set Y, set Y to like right there, I think. Set YZ, which is still mislabeled, over to there. that should be enough. But I was pretty disappointed with the bridging ability of this new resin. So I'm going to do this. We're going to put in an extra support. Might be overkill, might not, don't know, don't want to find out. And have to reprint this. And then we can group these bases. Let's see, set X, Y to there. We can group these bases. Why is it grabbing something up there? Is that in a group that shouldn't be in a group? I think so. All right, set X, Y to there. And we can okay, and where are we going to sprue it? I think we're going to have to sprue it on top of here. I don't want my sprue to be next to the safety or the rivets. We've got the neighboring pin coming in there. This is all hollow, so this looks like our only free sprue surface. So I'm going to put the sprue there. Copy, paste, drag this down, break history on that one, and then we can flip it 180 and plop it on top of there. Okay, it's not that much of a curved surface, so let's do this. Select parents and isolate. All right, now nothing else will get in our way. Align to object, or C-plane. Let's neck that down. We could rotate this a little bit. These guys don't need to be near as big. Did I neck it down too much? Oh, and 3D printer software does not let you design sprues. And designing sprues in a fragile wax resin does not sound that exciting to me either. I'd rather print them in there because that was a lot quicker. Okay, this one's good to go. Why do I have two of these? Select parents. Oh no. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll have two instead of one. There should be... Yeah, that shouldn't matter. I'm just going to stack them on top of each other and group them. All of this needs to go into a group. And then we can move this out onto the printer table. Oh, the block is still locked. Add to group. Yeet that onto the print table. Last one. Last freaking one. Okay. I think we could use... Well, our sprue is going to need to be on the side. Let's copy our side sprue here. Copy. Undo all that I just did. Paste. And we can move that back to here. Okay. We'll use this side sprue. Let's isolate. Oh, I didn't get the... I wanted to get this too, because I'll need that. Copy all that. Okay, I want this and this isolate. And then we can just move this back until it matches up. And I probably will bend this to match. Let's go to top view. Yeah, I probably will bend this to match. Bend. Okay, now let's, you know what? I don't want those. I want this one. Oh, I could sprue it off of here. That is probably the better idea. Much better anchor. I'm worried about this wax not being, not anchoring very well. Okay, I think that's a much better idea. Give me 60 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll do a double sprue and yeah. I wish I had more confidence in this wax resin. Like if this was B9 Emerald, I never have a failed print. I know how it works. I've been doing it long enough. But I'm I'm doing these supports like this because there's a non-zero chance that this doesn't print. And I have a mess of like half stuck layers in a vat that I have to strain and come back in here and do this all over again. And I want history on it. So let's grab this one. Let's grab this. I get so tired of wanting a group and then not wanting a group. Let's copy without history. From here. And now let's switch to the bottom. I want one to be right there. You know what? I'm just going to copy one to both sides, but okay, this is just a little bit too big. I don't want to have a flange right there and investment to get in and then not get a cast because of that. So we are going to go, man, I'm so indecisive. Okay, we can make this a little bit smaller this way. Okay, that'll get us onto the sprue rod. Copy, paste, -20. Let's flip this 90 so we can take and mirror that like that. And then we'll just go ahead and do it like this because this is how it's going to sit on top of this rod. So it's going to sit on top of it like this. And then my supports are going to have to clear the rod. So you know what? Let's take and copy this just so I can see where it will be. We're going to copy it from there to 0. Okay, so now as I'm putting the supports around, I can make sure to clear this rod and not have to pick the supports off. Copy, paste. And let's set X, Y to there. Okay, and then Just need to get this off the wax rod. That should be enough clearance. Yeah, why did I do that? I actually do want all of those. I didn't copy everything. Undo paste. Let's lock this. And these. So we can just grab all of this and make sure we get all of it and copy paste. And then when I set XY to here, okay. I'm not getting the blend curve. Is the blend curve in here? Is the blend curve layer locked? No. Why is it not selectable? How did that get locked? What a pain in the ass. Copy, paste, set XY there. Paste, set XY to there. Paste. Now I'm only going to need this one, not these. So those are going to get deleted. And then set XY. Oh, I messed up my bottom view. Set view to bottom. Set XY to there. Okay, got to distribute these a little bit more evenly. So let's see. All right, that looks a little more even. And then do we want to combine bases? That looks good. All right, we group that. And then stick this on this rod in our empty space here. Yeah, that needs to be part of that group. Maybe I put it on the far end. No. Leave it there. I'll do the rest by hand. Okay. I think that is all of our parts. We've got the tongue, or the box. We've got the tongue. We've got the box safety, the center link. So that's kind of our oddball parts. And then we've got 22 blocks, which is what we should have for these. I double checked that these were the right size, that we had the right number. Oh, I will be very sad if I'm forgetting something. But can these be laid out any better? Okay, we are going to purge anything we didn't use, do a save small, and then we're going to grab all of this. Yeah, let's yeet that out of the way. And then we are going to move this back to 0 because printers like that. And now we are going to break history. And I want to select all the meshes. And because my mirror script did not, you know what, this, just delete all this. Because my mirror script did not, kept flipping these mesh normals, we're just going to fix that. Unify mesh normals. Oh, that doesn't do it. Okay. It's easy to tell which ones are inverted. Remove from group. All of these. And just flip them. Not ideal, but it's easy enough to spot. It's not too much of a pain in the ass. Should just fix my code. That's what I should do. At this point, it would have been faster. How many times have I had to deal with this? No, I am not going to take it back to 3D coat. The tolerances I have built in here for the pins and the rivets, I'm not going to let it risk doing a smooth all. So this is straight to the printer. That's why I made, instead of making the sprue just as a flat, I gave it a little bit of a fillet so we'd have good metal flow. Normally I would, but with mechanical linkages, you know, I've got 5/100ths of a millimeter offset for between the rivet and the rivet bearing surface, and that 5/100th of a millimeter is enough to get a pin in, but any more, and now, well, actually, when you do a smooth all, things kind of shrink. No, only because it's a mechanical part, and only because it's a mechanical part. Otherwise, I would take it to 3D coat and it would automatically flip all these. I wouldn't have to worry about it. But I do not want to remesh any of this. And I don't believe there's a command that says select inside out meshes. But they're easy to spot. I mean, I don't see any that are inside out. If I accidentally missed a button, that would be bad. But it would look like this. We would be able to see the tip through it. And I don't see any tips poking through. Trying to lay eyes on all of them. There's one. And B9 may be smart enough to slice an inside out mesh. I don't want to redo stuff at this point. Okay, so we did that. Now let's do select open surfaces. These guys are removed from group. Let's get rid of these guys. Those can go in the trash. All of these just need to be joined up. Join. And these need to be capped. Should have ungrouped everything. These need to be capped. All right, select open surfaces, and we have none. Select open surface, none. I think that's it. We are ready to print. Export. I'm gonna Okay, sorry. I had to go through my file explorer, and I've got customer names on a bunch of stuff, and I don't want to leak any information, so one big part. All right, so we can go over to foundations and we can add our foundation to this. Oh no. That is, that's not right. What did I do? This needs to move up. It's probably 5 millimeters. I probably had it down 5. Nope. Okay, I gotta hide my screen again. 1. Okay, try this again. Oh man, it's already after 5:30. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Ha 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 ha. All right. Today is the 11th. Oh, Discord didn't pick up that I should be in streamer mode. I don't know how to do that. It does it for me automatically. All right, save that. As long as these are all centered, then the bottoms of these should all be the same. So if I just focus on one, oh, that's the box. Okay. It's printing time. EasyCast 200. Let's see how it goes. All right. I'm off to print. It's already after 5:30. I was going to throw it in the oven. I came in today because I was going to throw it in the oven so I could cast it in the morning. But it's a lot of work still left to do. I don't know if I'm going to make it. But anyways, I hope you guys learned something. In the video description, there's links to the Discord if you want to ask any follow-up questions. I'm over there. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day.